All right, welcome to the deep dive,
Yeah,
where we really kind of dig deep into the subjects you're curious about
that's it.
and try to bring you like that core knowledge you need
Absolutely.
without overwhelming you, right?
Yeah. No one wants to drown in information.
We want you to have those like aha
It's just
moments.
light bulb moments.
Yeah, those are the best,
Absolutely. Gotta love those.
and we want to make sure we deliver those
Yeah,
with efficiency,
that's right. Efficient and effective.
effective use of your time. So
Exactly.
that's what we're aiming for.
Mm. So today we are going on a deep dive into a book,
Okay.
Meet Me in the Middle, Becoming an Accomplished Middle-Level Teacher
Oh, interesting.
by Rick Wormeli.
Rick Warmilly. Okay.
Now you might be thinking, wait a minute, middle school teachers, what does that have to do with me?
Right. Yeah, I'm not a middle school teacher. Why am I listening to this?
Totally fair point.
Yeah.
But the goal of this deep dive is actually to show you that the lessons that Wormeli is sharing, they go way beyond the classroom.
Right.
These insights into learning and motivation, they're for everyone.
Anyone can use this. Yeah.
Whether you're in business, the arts, or just trying to learn a new skill.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that makes a lot of sense.
We're going to unpack these really powerful ideas, and I think you'll see how valuable they can be.
Right. And it's all based on his firsthand experience.
Exactly. He's been in the trenches, a real middle school teacher, so he knows what works and what doesn't.
That's great. So he's not just theorizing. He's actually been there.
Yeah, boots on the ground kind of knowledge.
Okay.
Practical, hands-on stuff, but also some really solid educational theory behind it.
Okay. Well, let's get into it.
All right, let's dive in.
One of the things that really stood out to me, and I think this is important for, anyone, not just teachers, is this idea of really understanding the individual, right?
That's foundational.
Whether you're leading a team or mentoring someone or even just, meeting someone new,
Right, it's about connection.
understanding their perspective is just so crucial.
Absolutely. And Wormeli really hammers this point home.
He does.
He's all about knowing and connecting with your students on a deeper level.
Yeah, and this idea of creating a safe space where people feel comfortable
That's crucial.
to share their thoughts, to maybe even risk being wrong.
Yeah, to take those intellectual risks without feeling judged.
Exactly. I think that's such a key point.
He talks about this concept of emotional poker chips.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
It's a really cool metaphor.
Yeah.
So imagine everyone has these chips, right? And they represent their emotional well-being, how
Okay.
safe and secure they feel.
Okay.
And when someone has a negative experience or they feel unsafe, it's like they lose some of those chips.
Oh, I see.
And the fewer chips they have, the less likely they are to participate, to ask questions, to really engage.
Yeah, they're more hesitant to kind of put themselves out there.
Exactly. It's self-preservation.
That makes sense.
So the takeaway here is we need to create environments that build up those chips.
Yeah, that add to that sense of security and support.
Absolutely.
And it's not just about avoiding the negative, right? It's also about
Right.
actively showing that we're interested in people.
Yeah, genuine interest goes a long way.
Their backgrounds, their culture, where they're coming from.
He even suggests visiting students' homes to really understand their lives.
I remember that. Yeah. Now, obviously, that's not always possible.
Right, different contexts.
But the principle, that idea of trying to see things from their perspective,
That's universal.
that's powerful.
Yeah, imagine applying that to any team dynamic, any collaborative project.
Right.
When you take the time to understand where your colleagues are coming from, what their strengths are, what motivates them.
You build stronger relationships.
Absolutely. And a much more effective foundation for learning and working together.
I love that.
So let's move on to something else that Wormeli talks about, which is how do we make learning really stick?
Ah, yeah. How do we get past just like surface knowledge?
Exactly. He calls these vivid lessons.
Okay, vivid lessons.
It's about going beyond just talking at people.
Right, make it interactive, make it engaging.
Yeah, make it an experience.
I like that.
And one of the things I really appreciate about Wormeli is
Yeah.
he gives you really practical ideas, things you can actually do.
Right, not just abstract theories.
Exactly. Like he talks about using masking tape on the floor
Okay, masking tape.
to
Interesting.
create a giant diagram of a cell or a timeline of historical events.
Wow, so you're actually like walking through it.
Exactly. It's not just a picture in a book. It's something you can interact with, something you can feel.
Oh, that's really cool. I can see how that would be much more memorable.
It brings those abstract concepts to life, literally.
Yeah, and I remember he also talks about dressing up
Oh, yeah. He loves that.
to teach a concept.
Like becoming Aunt Sally to teach the order of operations.
Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Right. Yeah, I remember that.
It might seem a little silly,
Yeah.
but it works. It creates this really unique multisensory experience.
It's memorable.
And that helps people connect with the material in a deeper way.
Yeah, so it's not just about hearing the information, it's about experiencing it.
Exactly.
And I think that's something we can all think about, right? How can we make our own explanations, our own learning experiences more tangible, more immersive?
It's a great question.
Wormeli also talks a lot about using games and simulations,
Oh, yeah, he's a big believer in the power of games.
but not just any games, right? He's very specific about this.
Yeah, these aren't just time fillers. They have to have substance.
They have to actually teach something.
Right. They need to be built around the content, the key concepts.
Okay, so it's not just about having fun. It's about learning through the fun.
Exactly. And he emphasizes that everyone needs to participate.
No one's sitting on the sidelines.
And the rules need to be clear and simple.
Right, you don't want to get bogged down in complex rules.
And he gives some really great examples.
Like what?
Like adapting games we all know, like Taboo or Pictionary,
Oh, that's good.
to reinforce vocabulary, key ideas, whatever you're teaching.
So you're taking something familiar and using it in a new way.
Exactly. And these games, they force you to think on your feet,
Right.
to collaborate, to problem solve.
And it's fun.
That's the best part.
Makes you want to learn.
Absolutely. And when people are enjoying themselves, they learn so much better.
They do, for sure.
Okay, so another concept that Wormeli talks about is authentic learning and assessment.
Okay, what does that mean?
It's this idea that instead of just doing assignments for a grade, students should create work that has a real audience, a real purpose.
Like a project that actually goes out into the world.
Exactly. Imagine students producing a literary magazine that gets distributed in the community.
Oh, wow.
Or creating a school newspaper that informs their peers.
That's so much more motivating than just, like, a worksheet.
Right, because your work has an impact.
It matters.
It goes beyond just getting a grade.
And that's such a powerful thing, to know that your efforts are actually contributing to something.
It makes the learning feel real, tangible.
Yeah, you're not just learning in a vacuum.
Exactly. You're connected to the real world.
And I think that's a principle that can apply to so many things, not just school.
Absolutely. Anytime you can connect your learning to a real outcome.
It just makes it so much more meaningful.
Okay, so let's talk about feedback.
Feedback, yeah, that's important.
Wormeli is really big on this.
He is.
He believes in frequent and formative feedback.
So feedback that happens during the learning process.
Exactly, not just a grade at the end.
Right, because if you're getting feedback along the way,
you can adjust, you can improve.
You could actually use it to get better.
That's the whole point.
It's not just a judgment, it's a tool for growth.
Exactly. And he contrasts this with, traditional end-of-unit grades.
Right, where you get the feedback way after you finish the work.
And by then, it's too late to really do anything with it.
Right, you've already moved on.
So the key here is timely feedback.
While you're still in the process of learning.
That's when it's most effective.
And he also talks about different ways to assess learning.
Yeah, not just tests and quizzes.
Right, because those don't always capture the whole picture.
Exactly. He talks about alternative assessments.
Oh, like what?
Things like student design tests.
Ah, it's interesting.
Or projects that tap into different learning styles, different intelligences.
So giving students more choice in how they demonstrate their learning.
Exactly. He gives some really cool examples. Like, imagine a student creating a board game to show their understanding of Latin roots.
Wow, that's creative.
Or designing a restaurant menu to illustrate grammar concepts.
I love that.
It's about allowing students to shine in ways that traditional tests might not capture.
Right, and I think that's something we can all think about, Are there more creative, more personalized ways to assess learning, even outside of the classroom?
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that everyone learns and demonstrates their knowledge differently.
And that's a good thing.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit.
Right.
And talk about how the brain actually learns.
Oh, neuroscience.
Yeah, the nitty-gritty of how we process information.
I'm intrigued.
So one really important point that Wormeli brings up is our memories aren't stored in one specific place in the brain.
Oh, really? I always kind of imagined it like a filing cabinet.
Yeah, that's a common misconception, but it's much more complex than that.
So where are they stored then?
They're actually distributed throughout the brain.
Oh, interesting.
In these interconnected fragments.
Okay.
He uses this great analogy from David Sousa about a lemon meringue pie.
Okay. A pie, how does that relate to the brain?
So imagine the memory of the pie, right? The smell might be stored in one area,
Yeah.
the taste in another, and the visual image of the pie in yet another.
So it's like different pieces of the memory are scattered throughout the brain.
Exactly. And when you encounter something that triggers one of those senses, it activates the whole network.
Oh, wow. So like smelling a lemon could bring back a whole flood of memories about the pie.
Precisely. And that's why it's so important to create multiple connections to new information.
I see. So the more senses we engage, the stronger the memory will be.
Absolutely. The more pathways we create, the easier it will be to access that information later.
It's like building a network of roads to get to that memory.
That's a great analogy.
And he also talks about this technique called triad response,
Oh, yeah, that's a good word.
which is like a way to keep those neural pathways active during discussions.
Right. So instead of just one person answering a question,
Mm-hmm.
you get multiple people responding, agreeing, disagreeing, building on each other's ideas.
So it's more interactive, more dynamic.
Exactly. And it keeps everyone's brains engaged.
That's like a mental workout,
It is. And all that activity strengthens those neural connections.
which makes the learning more durable.
And then there's this concept of brain elasticity.
Okay, brain elasticity. That sounds interesting.
It's the incredible ability of our brains to change and adapt throughout our lives.
So even as adults, our brains can still learn and grow.
Absolutely. And the more we learn, the easier it becomes to learn.
It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
That's a great way to think about it.
And what's really amazing is
What's that?
scientists can actually see these changes happening in the brain.
Yeah, it's not just theory anymore.
Wormeli talks about seeing images of neurons growing and forming new connections
It's mind-blowing.
as people learn new things.
So it's not just about acquiring information,
It's about physically changing the structure of our brains.
literally rewiring ourselves.
So learning is not just a mental activity, it's a physical one too.
Exactly. And that's incredibly empowering, I think.
It is. It means we have so much potential for growth.
No matter how old we are,
As long as we keep challenging ourselves, keep learning.
our brains will rise to the challenge.
All right, let's talk about critical thinking.
Ooh, yeah, that's a big one.
Because in today's world, with so much information coming at us,
From all directions.
it's more important than ever to be able to evaluate that information critically,
To separate fact from fiction.
to spot the biases, the agendas.
And Wormeli has some really interesting ideas about how to teach this.
Yeah, like what?
He suggests using tabloid newspapers.
Oh, really? Tabloids.
They're a goldmine of logical fallacies.
Okay, I see where he's going with this.
It's a fun and engaging way to teach students about critical thinking.
Because it's something they can relate to, something they see in their everyday lives.
Exactly. And it helps them to analyze arguments, to spot those flawed reasoning patterns.
Instead of just accepting everything they read at face value.
He even gives specific examples of common fallacies.
Oh, like what?
Like the ad hominem fallacy, where you attack the person making the argument instead of the argument itself.
Right, like, oh, you can't trust anything they say. They're a insert insult.
Exactly. That's a classic ad hominem.
Okay, and what's another one?
The straw man fallacy, where you misrepresent your opponent's argument to make it easier to knock down.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that one a lot.
It's a very common tactic in debates.
So understanding these fallacies is like having a toolkit for critical thinking.
Absolutely. It helps you to see through the smoke and mirrors.
To get to the heart of the matter.
And I think this is so important, not just for students, but for everyone.
Right, for anyone who wants to make informed decisions.
Whether it's about politics, health, finance, you name it.
Critical thinking is essential.
Wormeli also talks about the importance of addressing misconceptions.
Misconceptions, yeah, those can be really tricky.
They can be.
Right.
Sometimes people don't even realize they have them.
Right, they think they understand something, but their understanding is actually flawed.
He mentions this famous video, A Private Universe,
Okay, I've heard of that.
where they interviewed Harvard graduates about basic science concepts.
Yeah.
And it turned out that many of them had fundamental misunderstandings,
Like what?
like the reasons for the seasons.
Oh, wow, so even highly educated people can have misconceptions.
It happens to all of us.
And that's why it's so important to actively try to uncover them.
Wormeli suggests using things like diagnostic assessments
Okay.
to probe for underlying understanding.
So not just testing whether someone knows the answer, but testing whether they understand the concept behind the answer.
Exactly. And he also recommends using writing activities.
Writing, okay.
Because when you have to articulate your thoughts in writing,
It forces you to really think it through.
It can reveal those hidden gaps in understanding.
So it's not just about memorizing facts.
It's about understanding the why behind the facts.
And that's what real learning is all about.
So as lifelong learners, we all need to be on the lookout for our own misconceptions.
Right, to be willing to question our own understanding.
To be open to new information, even if it challenges what we thought we knew.
And that's not always easy.
It's not, but it's essential for growth.
All right, let's talk about something a little more collaborative.
Okay.
Mentorship and collaboration.
Those are two of my favorite topics.
And Wormeli highlights how important they are in the teaching profession,
yeah, he talks about the benefits of teacher teams.
where teachers work together to support their students.
And I think this principle applies to so many fields.
It does, right?
Anytime you can get different perspectives, share expertise.
It just leads to better outcomes.
Absolutely. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts.
And he also emphasizes the importance of mentors,
especially for new teachers.
to guide them, to support them, to share their experience.
And what's interesting is he points out that mentors benefit too.
Oh, really?
It's not just a one-way street.
How so?
Well, when you have to explain something to someone else, it forces you to really think it through.
You have to clarify your own thinking.
Exactly. And you often learn new things in the process.
So mentorship is a two-way street. Both sides benefit.
Absolutely. And I think that's something we can all think about no matter what stage of our career we're in.
Do we have mentors? Are we mentoring others?
It's so valuable.
Okay, last thing I wanted to touch on
Go for it.
is this idea of connecting learning to the real world.
Oh, yeah. Getting out of the classroom.
Wormeli talks about using things like outdoor adventures, camping trips,
Yeah, those can be incredibly powerful learning experiences.
and not just for the students, but for the teachers too.
Because you're all learning together.
You're collaborating, you're problem solving, you're building relationships,
Then you're seeing the adults in a different light,
not just as authority figures,
but as fellow learners.
and that can be really transformative.
So while we might not all be able to go on a camping trip,
Right.
the principle of learning by doing, of applying knowledge in real-world contexts.
That's something we can all strive for.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Rick Wormeli's work,
It's clear that these principles go way beyond the middle school classroom.
they're for all of us.
Anyone who wants to learn more effectively,
To be more engaged, more motivated.
to become lifelong learners.
So here's our final thought for you today.
Okay, hit me with it.
Think about how you approach learning, how you share information with others. Is there anything you've heard today that you'd like to try?
Something you could experiment with, maybe tweak your approach a little.
Because even small changes can make a big difference.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure,
We hope you've gained some valuable insights from Rick Wormeli's wisdom
and we hope you'll continue to explore these ideas.
to make your own learning journey even more rewarding.
And if you have any thoughts or questions,
We'd love to hear from you.
so until next time, keep on learning.
Keep diving deep.